Hi, this is Bradley J. And, welcome to another StreamYard on Jack FM and also the big 94.5 country. And today, going to be talking to Brad Sloan, Detox Manager at Valeo's Recovery Center. Bring him on the screen. Good morning, Brad. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I know usually Lindsay Gutierrez is doing these StreamYards, but she's not available. So today I'm going to fill in for her and I'm going to do my best. And I want to start off talking about, and I did not know this. I know that every day is like, it's something National Something Day, but this month is National Alcohol Awareness Month. And
Yeah.
I want to ask you, why is this so important to our community?
Well, the month of April being set aside as National Alcohol Awareness Month just kind of brings to the forefront um, to make people aware of the issues revolving around alcohol abuse. It's not to say that any use of alcohol is an abuse. It's not. Alcohol can be a wonderful social lubricant when used properly. However, there are quite a number of people. In fact, 1 in 10 people across the United States would fall into the category of being alcoholic or addicted to alcohol, and that's a big enough percentage to pay attention to for sure.
So, we're talking with Brad Sloan, Detox Manager at Valeo's Recovery Center. Talk about the work you do at Valeo.
Well, so here at Valeo, we have the department that I work in is Valeo Recovery Center. We have 5 different levels of care. We have a social detox, we have a residential inpatient program, we have a reintegration program, an intensive outpatient program, and then aftercare. If somebody was to move seamlessly through that continuum of care, they would come into our social detox. It's an on-demand service. You can think of it as kind of like an ER for somebody that's in the midst of their addiction. Then from that point, they would move into residential inpatient treatment, which generally lasts about 28 days. Our reintegration program is a great program for our homeless population. It's a much smaller program, and unfortunately, right now it is on hold, um, uh, just as a kind of an after effect of all the COVID stuff. Um, but then our intensive outpatient program, where a person comes here for 3 hours Monday through Thursday, and then our aftercare program, which is aimed primarily at relapse prevention, and it's once a week.
So, with it being National Alcohol Awareness Month, what are some of the signs that you or someone you know has a drinking problem? Because people try to hide their drinking problem, but are there things that we can look for when it comes to people we may think have a problem?
Well, it's sometimes it's difficult to distinguish between what would be considered, someone who would be considered a heavy drinker, um, and someone who's truly alcoholic. In my opinion, and someone who is truly alcoholic has major, as a result of their alcohol use, has major disruptions in their life. They've lost jobs, they're estranged from their families, they're they've had legal issues, DUIs, uh, things of that nature that are major disruptions to their normal course of life. Um, Things to look for in a family member or close friend. Um, are they lying about how much they're drinking? Because most of the time drinking is a very social kind of thing, and if a person is kind of denying the idea that they're drinking a lot, um, then that's a pretty good sign that there's an issue, and that kind of thing. Um, we were talking just before we started the live stream there's something that's an emerging trend in alcohol abuse. I don't think it's really an emerging trend, but it's first time that someone's like put eyes on it, and it's the idea of high intensity drinking, and what that is that includes consumption of alcohol at levels that are 2 or more times the gender specific binge drinking thresholds. So, and these kinds of this high intensity drinking usually takes place around holidays, sporting events, most notably 21st birthdays. And the unfortunate thing is with this high intensity drinking that people are engaging in, there's some pretty nasty consequences that can occur as a result of this. I guess what I would say to people is that if this high intensity drinking occurs on a frequent basis, that could be an issue, certainly.
And those happen around, like you said, the holidays, because you see it on St. Patrick's Day. You
Oh yeah.
see it, yeah, like you said, your
Well,
21st birthday.
if you notice around Christmas time, the number of TV commercials that are advertising alcohol increases dramatically. So, I mean,
And it because for the holidays, like I was taking home like 2 bottles of wine for Christmas, and my mom kept looking at me. She's like, "Why do you do this? Why do you bring this home? We're not big drinkers on the holidays." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're supposed to." And she's like, "Stop it." And I'm like, "Okay, I will."
right.
So now I bring home cookies. I went to one of the places here in Topeka, and my mom was much more appreciative of the cookies than she was of the wine. So
Yeah.
we changed our tradition up on that. Talking to Brad Sloan, Detox Manager at Valeo's Recovery Center. And speaking of the Recovery Center, what services are available for somebody who comes to Valeo?
Well, Valeo is a large behavioral health center. We are one of the largest in the state. We offer, oh my gosh, you would ask me that question. And, we have so many different programs and options for people to engage with us, with Valeo Recovery Center just being, one piece of that. But we have crisis services. We have, supported employment services, case management. There's therapy, medication management services, in-home supports. There's just a myriad of services that we can offer individuals who are either dealing with mental health issues or addiction issues, or both. I've been in this industry now I've worked for Valeo now for 18 years. And the number of folks that we have with co-occurring disorders, which would be a mental health disorder combined with an addiction issue, it has increased dramatically. Especially since 2020. The whole thing at the beginning of 2020 was that we were being told that we needed to isolate, just connect with, immediate family, but don't go out in the community. Don't come in contact with large crowds and things like that. But the thing that I've never been a big fan of isolation, because isolation is a person in recovery's worst enemy. A person in recovery relies on that community support, like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. And when you tell the individual that they need to isolate, it's counter to what they need to do in order to maintain their recovery. So as a result, since 2020, the number of relapses that we've seen has increased dramatically. The number of overdoses that we've seen has increased dramatically. And as a result, I've seen more overdose deaths of individuals that I know personally um, in the last 3 years than I did in the previous 10. It's a horrible after effect of everything that we went through, that we've gone through over the last 3 years as a society.
So how does somebody reach out to you? Is there like a phone number, a website?
Yeah.
How can someone get in touch with you?
Well, we do have a website. It's www dot or valeotopeka.org. And then our direct line here for the recovery center and this line is answered 24/7, 785-234-3448, and that's our detox line. And basically, so if somebody's seeking services or wants to find out more, they can call that line 24/7 and get some answers or get direction to where they can plug in and things like that. There's also our crisis services line, and guess what? Put me on the spot and I draw a blank. Isn't that terrible?
It
Oh
happens
my
to
gosh!
it happens to the best of us.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Terrible. Let me look real quick here. That's a sign of getting older, I guess.
Well, you know what? I want to bring up, and I want to try to get us all on the screen. Well, I'll bring it up over us and we can talk over it. You guys do have a community hygiene drive for MAP, which is Mobile Access Partnership. You can see on the screen, April 1st through the 30th. What a great thing to do, and for people to come out and do that. Is there a certain time that people need to come on April 1st or through the 30th?
During business hours,
Okay.
which would be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., both of those locations at 330 Southwest Oakley or at 5401 Southwest 7th Street would work. If you go to 5401 Southwest 7th, there's a doorbell that you'll need to ring because it's not the lobby is not open to the public, and so they'll have to ring themselves in. But the 330 Oakley address does have a public lobby, and so so they can drop things off there anytime between 8 and 5 p.m.
All right. Well, we will post that on Facebook so people know when to go and what you need at that drive. Brad, I want to thank you for being on our StreamYard Live, and appreciate this. And hopefully we'll talk again. Don't forget, it is National Alcohol Awareness Month. And if you need help, Valeo is the place to go. Again, Brad, Detox Manager, Valeo's Recovery Center. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. You have a great day.
Yeah, you too, Brad. Thanks for having me on, and have a great day. Have a great April.
You bet. You too.